street in the nation's capital or elsewhere, whether you're female who is pregnant, whether you're just a male or a child, or some cases, if you're an animal. But that is life in St. Lucia. And some people are so thin-skinned in this country. They believe that they are beyond criticism. And even when the criticism is warranted, and even when it is constructive, and when it is obviously required or necessitated. Got a few calls today. People are telling me, man, look, some people are referring to you elsewhere. And when I stopped and monitored, it was some people are calling me like my grandmother used to. Timothy fed this, Timothy fed that, Timothy. In case I didn't say my name, by the way, my name is Timothy Poleon. If you have been elected into office, and it is on the basis of you saying, and the record is there, the evidence is there, you are the most readied. You go to a job interview and you say to the prospective, the person who is interviewing you, the interviewer, that you come well qualified and you present your qualifications and your recommendations and you give a good account of yourself. You acquit yourself, all in an effort to prove that you're suitable for the job. You're offered a 5-year contract. And somewhere in that contract would be stipulated that if you do not perform up to par with the expectation of your employers, then we could review your position, and maybe within 2 years, if you cannot demonstrate that you have what it takes for the job, then we'd have to part company. We would have to go our separate ways. Unfortunately, as far as our Constitution is concerned, we do not have the power of recall, as was recommended by the team that was reviewing our Constitution in terms of getting recommendations and suggestions from members of the public. They voted unanimous, or not unanimously, but in the main, a majority of the St. Lucian public stated that they wanted to have the power of recall. And I wonder how many elected MPs would still have their jobs today if there was such a stipulation in our Constitution. No wonder they do not want to implement those recommendations. They set up all kind of review committee with all kind of people who are deemed to be prominent and well suited for those positions. And those people meet from time to time. Election would come and go, and trust me, nothing of note would come out of their so-called committee, commission, and when they present their recommendations. And so on this broadcast, we'll continue to be steadfast in our approach. It's not a case where our back is not broad. It is very broad. And we can stomach the criticism, stomach the mépris. I've been there. I know what it is. But I always tell people, be very careful when you insult other people, when you want to degrade people, because one day something will happen to you. And I don't know if you will be able to adapt. I just don't know. But I'm very comfortable. I am okay with how God desired me to be. And so let's deal with life in St. Lucia. And how to put it across as a typical St. Lucian. Some people are really wrong and strong in our country. Very much wrong and strong. You assigned yourself the post of National Security Minister. To put it plainly, you're responsible for the security of everyone within the borders of this country. You're responsible for our safety. And it's a case where somebody gave you that responsibility. You took it upon yourself, and you did that at the last minute. Portfolios were assigned to various individuals, and somehow the guy who was dishing out the portfolios forgot about national security and said, oh gosh, let me assign that responsibility to myself. I don't have the background, wasn't a policeman, wasn't deputy police commissioner, wasn't commissioner of police, wasn't even a correctional officer. But I decided to become the national security minister. And now, things are very chaotic in our country as far as our security is concerned. I mean, not even a dog in the care of the police is safe. Dies under suspicious circumstances. And you do not believe that people have the right to criticize you, and your surrogates do not believe that you should be the subject of criticism, immense criticism at that. And fortunately for you, the criticism is only coming from the news spinners, because the other talk shows are not like us. They do not have the interest of this country at heart, and they do not believe that you should be criticized. I don't know why. But every ounce of criticism that you receive is warranted. And I'm sure that as we speak, private sector officials, your Chamber of Commerce, your Bar Association, various interest groups in this country are very much concerned about the crime problem in our country. And they are asking themselves quietly, whispering to themselves, those guys are not cutting it. And we cannot just look to individuals in our country to seriously tackle the crime problem, as much as we all agree that everyone has a responsibility. But as I've been saying on this broadcast, there must be a leader in everything, you know. Who will lead the charge to speak authoritatively on crime in this country? And it ought to start with an address to the nation. An address to the nation on you giving what was due to the public sector workers. An address to the nation on Tinubu. An address to the nation focusing on scholarships that you have given to the students. All well. We appreciate that. But what about the critical issues that are affecting the people? As we speak, crime is a major problem, Mr. National Security Minister. And in the case of Trinidad and Tobago, where crime is a problem, your National Security Minister, Fitzgerald Hines, got his fair share of criticism, very much warranted. The talk shows, the Newsday newspaper, the Trinidad Express, the Trinidad Guardian, they all did it to him. In the case of St. Lucia, we all know. So the latest, the headline, RSLPF launches probe into homicide at Leslie Land Castries. And so far, social media, what we are reading, the various voice notes we are listening to, they all concur that this was a gentleman. And I know him, though I'm too acquainted, but I've seen him on hundreds of occasions. He's from the Leslie Land area. And people are speaking in glowing terms about Chucky. Don't know him to be in a gang, etc. I don't know what his background is. But he was shot and killed. We are hearing that's homicide number 42. Sorry, number 40. So according to a press release from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, on Thursday, August the 7th, 2025 at about 6:05 a.m., the officers of the Criminal Investigations Department received information of a shooting at Leslie Land Castries. Initial reports revealed that one male victim received multiple gunshot wounds about the body. The male victim was pronounced dead on the scene by a medical practitioner. He has been identified as Felix Leos, a 57-year-old male of Leslie Land Castries. The details of the incident, which resulted in the loss of life of one individual, is currently under investigation. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is therefore appealing to anyone with information regarding this incident to contact the Major Crimes Unit at 456-3754. Alternatively, anonymous tips can be provided by dialing 555, the crime hotline, or by utilizing, please bear with me. All right, read it again. The details of the incident which resulted in the loss of life of one individual is currently under investigation. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is therefore appealing to anyone with information regarding this incident to contact the Major Crimes Unit at 456-3754. Alternatively, any anonymous tips can be provided by dialing 5, the crime hotline, or by utilizing the RSL PF crime hotline application, which is available in Google Play Store. And so the Prime Minister passes the buck to the island's police commissioner, who is on vacation. And you don't get a sense that anyone is in charge or anyone is responsible or feel comfortable enough to raise their hands and say, I will lead that particular effort, because it will not address itself on its own. And we cannot allow the criminal elements in our country to have their way. So what do? That's why we have Home Affairs Minister, Crime Prevention Minister, because Elijah Norbert, he had to be given a job. Jeremiah Norbert had to be given a job. You have the man there languishing as just an MP. He wanted a job. Create something for him. And it is called crime prevention. You have your police commissioner. You have a Home Affairs Minister. And what do we have to show for that as the taxpayers of this country? Let us listen to the first deputy political leader of the opposition, UWP, speaking this week during a press conference, Guy Joseph. And he makes reference to just having too many cooks.
Now, we've heard a saying, too many cooks spoil the soup. Let us look at how many people we are paying just in the hierarchy to be responsible. You have a Minister of National Security in the person of the Prime Minister. You have another minister who is involved in some aspect of security, Virginia Poyet. She was responsible. We don't know what Jeremiah is doing. Nobody has clearly stated to us. Has Jeremiah taken over all the portfolios of Virginia? We have an Attorney General in Mr. Mondesi. All of these, that is just within the cabinet. You have another minister in Richard Frederick, who gives instructions to the police on his talk show on a Thursday, and the instructions are carried out. What has happened to St. Lucia? Qui sa ki rive St. Lucie jodi a? Nou ni Philip J. Pierre, nou ni Virginia, nou ni Jeremiah, nou ni Mondesi, ek nou ni Richard ki ka bay se police la instruction as sou program li. So they could have sent police officers on leave to investigate them. Who has gone on leave to investigate the death of Tyson? So up to a day like today, nou pa have ki moun ki te responsable pour Tyson. Nou pourtant yon moun ale a sou holiday pour yo investigate la mort Tyson. So is it possible that the persons who are responsible for Tyson's death are the same ones investigating Tyson's death today? Is that justice? And the Prime Minister has not seen it fit to address the nation, but you want to talk about our attitude towards the President of Nigeria?
Guy Joseph, First Deputy Political Leader of the Opposition UWP. I know you want to have your say on the issues we are discussing this afternoon, but just bear some patience with me. And this boils down to what? Whether you want to believe it or not, in any environment, in the home, in the school, in the church, the police force, in a business place, has everything to do with leadership. And that is what is required in this country. Recently, I was talking about St. Lucians who have excelled in certain positions, and we are proud of those people. And one particular individual, all he does, he has a little laptop, 24/7, calls the various programs, and he edits certain clips, and he distorts the message that's being portrayed by the subject of his devious behavior. And I said that, as a St. Lucian, you can't help but be proud of the many people in this country who have excelled in their respective areas. And he deliberately left out some other names, but he included Alan Chasney and Dominic Fady. But let me add to that list. As I said then, last week, I spoke of having George Odlum. When you had George Odlum as your foreign minister, you knew you were well represented. I also spoke about Dr. Kenny Anthony. When you had him as your prime minister, well represented. Did not include those two names. But I stand by my belief. I do stand by this. And don't expect me to apologize. That is my point of view. That is my perspective from my experience as a St. Lucian and as a broadcaster. You can't take that away from me. So, earlier on I told you about his leadership. And the United Workers' Party candidate for Babonneau, Titus Preville, was on my program last evening on Newsmaker Live, not my program, DBS's program, Newsmaker Live. And he's made a comparison between Alan Chasney and Philip J. Pierre. It was not on his own volition. I did pose a question to him. And a similar question was posed to him earlier today on the program, Meet the Minister. Alan Chasney versus Chasney versus Philip J. Pierre.
I will say it again as I said last night. The person of Philip Pierre is a person who is not going to be innovative, take a chance and do something. That's not him. That's not who he is by character, by nature. That's not the person he is. Despite the fact that he has always members were around him and could advise him. No, I'm saying him himself. That's but everyone can reach their own conclusion about Mr. Pierre. His way of doing things is not driven by that innovative drive and thinking out of the box. He is more of the conservative, thing. And there is nothing wrong with that. That is who he is.
I just have a layman description of that kind of leadership. And by the way, our former leader, Stevenson King, falls in that category. These are leaders, okay, who will not climb the coconut tree to pick a coconut. They will not throw a stone to pick the coconut. They will not take a stick, like what we call a gullet, to pick the coconut. They will sit under the coconut tree and wait for the coconut to fall. Okay, those are the kind of leaders they are.
That's fine. I will not say these things. I will simply say that. I will simply say that if you think of Sir John went in areas that people had not gone before.
Right.
He was innovative. He was thinking of doing things way
innovative and proactive.
And for that, he was lambasted. He was called dictator. They was said that he don't listen to his cabinet. Things very similar to what is being said about Shastin today.
Yeah.
So I say in this business, where you have a country that is a developing country, it's not a develop. That country requires leadership that does not just toe the line. That country requires leadership that has to be imaginative. Leadership that has to look to doing things in a manner to get a return so that the country can grow and develop.
And in today's world, you must be. Andre, look at what happened in 2020, 2021. Something no one in the world anticipated, envisaged, or experienced before, COVID-19. And we had to deal with it. Look at how remarkably well Alan Shastin, as our leader, handled the COVID crisis. And I'm telling you, I have many reasons to have faith in him as a visionary, as an innovative leader, as Titus indicated, but that topped it for me.
I'm in agreement with you on that. I'm totally in agreement. Alan Shastin demonstrated during COVID-19 in an environment where there was no script, there was no way, this is how to do it. And he led in a creative, imaginative way. He began speaking of being able to balance livelihoods and lives. That was a language he was using at the time. And it turns out that that language is really and truly what we have to do now. Alan Shastin was using the COVID-19 as a point to reset the economy. And that reset we saw after COVID in what we call a V-shape, a significant rebound in the economy. When Alan Shastin was, during COVID, speaking about, let us deal with the infrastructure, he was talking about, let us continue the airport development. At that time he was doing that, the opposition's position was, who of sound mind will be talking about using tourism head tax to build an airport? Only Alan Shastin in the world, only leader in the world
Philip
who
actually said it, that
tourism is going to come back to where it is.
That's right.
And that was what was being said by the opposition leader at the time in a very calm environment. He said only Alan Shastin believes tourism is going to return to where it is. And therefore, tourism has not just returned, it has surpassed. So if you ask me, that is confirmation coming from the leader of the opposition himself that this man is the right man for the job. He has actually endorsed him because the outcome is what he was thinking would never happen. Alan Shastin saw it happening and it actually materialized. This is where we are today. So I think sometimes, in the politics, people want to show they are so different to the other and they want to, to show up. And we go about it the wrong way. We go about it the wrong way, if you ask me. We take hard positions and we don't find a common ground. I think these things leave us in a very unfortunate position at the end because we see our hard position was actually the wrong position, as opposed to having a more a middle of the road, well thought through position.
But you see, Titus, having said what you just said there, I mean, we all lived it, we saw it for ourselves and so on. But I can tell you based on what I've seen with the current leader, Philip J.P., had he been our Prime Minister during COVID, okay, Andre, as a media person, will go to him and Mr. Prime Minister, he would tell Andre, I'm not a doctor. Okay.
The government is continuing as usual, as if nothing happened. St. Lucia, the government of St. Lucia is the only government that believes that tourism will get back to how it was pre-COVID. I think it's the only government in the world that believes that. There's no other government, I think, who believes that except the government of St. Lucia. So what do? We continue with business as usual. We continue to build an airport based on the fact that our airport would get its income from arrivals. Are you serious? Do you really believe that we're going to get a level of arrivals that we had when we did the sensitivity analysis for the building of that airport? Are you really serious? I mean, do you really, can we really sit down and say to ourselves that with the best will in the world, we are going to get the same level of arrivals in the country when we projected to borrow money from the airports?
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. You can call right now at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. In the meantime, low select customers and the public are advised that the Rodney Bay office will close from noon to 1 p.m. today, Thursday, August the 7th, and this is due to unforeseen circumstances. All options for conducting business with Lucelec electronically remain available, and customers are encouraged to use those. For bill balances, call the automated account inquiry service at 457-4433. Customers are encouraged to use or sign up for the free My Account service at myaccount.lucelec.com, and that is for access to their account information and to make online bill payments using a credit or debit card or online bank account. Customers may also call or WhatsApp 285-6796 or 285-7859, another number 285-3593, or email customer support at lucelec.com for assistance from the Lucelec Customer Service Department. There too, a delay may be experienced. Lucelec deeply regrets any inconvenience this temporary situation may cause and would like to thank customers for their understanding, patience, and cooperation. Love to hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. Don't forget, PGP also said he was waiting for the science to determine how to tackle COVID. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Amanda, how are you?
Good afternoon, Cole. I'm fine, thank you.
Good afternoon. Today is a very sad day for me. Today, Thursday, 7th day of August in the year 2025. We have had a barrage of calls today regarding the death of Chucky. Felix Leons, better known as Chucky, was my neighbor for years at Abamago, which is the local name for Leslie in that particular area. What is best known for Chucky is his beaming smile. Whenever you encounter Chucky, the first thing you will notice is his eyes will light up and his lips will broaden into a grin. I've known this young man from the time he was about 2 years old. Chucky was one of the most athletic young persons you would ever know. He was chubby in stature, but very acrobatic. Chucky, in his young life, and even as an older man, would stand up in one place and do the backflip. On any given day on that Lesland Road, Chucky would do about 100 flips because traffic at that time in the 70s was not as regular as it is today. Are you hearing me, DP?
Loud and clear, sir.
So Chucky will never be a statistic to me. He will never be. He's a friend of my children. He was my friend. He's a friend of my brother, Ezra, in Florida. And I've had calls from most persons in the Lesland area, the Roseville area, tell me that Chucky was killed this morning. So it is indeed a sad day. I would like to extend condolences to his father, boy, Mr. Prosper, a former manager at Cable and Wireless, his wife and family, and his friends, and his beloved club, the Nyabingi Football Club, of which I was the first vice president for years. On the 8th of June this year, Nyabingi celebrated its anniversary. A ceremony at which I attended at the Bellevue Hotel at Tapan St. Catherine. The featured speakers were Mr. Stuart Charles, Mr. Stanley Phillips, Mr. Angus Rignijabatis, Audie Nelson, who we know as Osco, and myself, Cameron Brown, among others. And I kept on asking, is Chucky there? Is Chucky there? Because I've not met Chucky in the last 15 to 20 years, Chuck. Because you know why?
Yeah.
You know, and I can tell you, Tim, it is a sad day, a very sad day for me personally.
And it should be a sad day for St. Lucia on the whole, eh?
Well, Tim, now that you've raised that point, persons have been asking quietly which were the 16 homicides committed in July. Let me start by telling them. The first was that of Jimmy Charles, who was killed at Tamazo in the Mabuya Valley in Denver. The second one was a gentleman, a 28-year-old man from the Eurasian. Then we had the two brothers, Raphael and Leo, as their surnames, from Cooleytown and Jack Mellon. We had a gentleman, Town Dempting, we had a gentleman at Sukanal. We had the two who were found in a car at Mount Sepan. We had the two in the graveyard. Two at Black Malay. We had one at Arundel Hill. We had one in Soufrière. One in New Village, an 18-year-old. The one in Soufrière was also an 18-year-old. One of those in Black Malay was a 15-year-old. We had one at Arundel Hill. We had Kwame. We had a footballer. You can add them up to him. We had one at Fongasso who is a distant relative. He was also a young man, 21 years old. If I missed anything, I heard that the figure you gave today, or Amanda gave, is 40. You can add 6 to that then. You can add 6 to that. Because in the past 2 days, I've had calls from 2 former commissioners commending me on my contribution on Tuesday. So I don't speak idly. I do not know where that 40 number came from.
I think it's coming from the police.
That is incorrect. I will not accuse my Royal Central Police Force of suppressing anything. I will not make any accusations against the Royal Central Police Force. But 40 is 6 homicides shot. And I will not include Chucky in that. Chucky will never be a statistic to me. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much. As always, sir, we appreciate your contribution. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, News Spinners. Tim, a few comments here. A News Spinner says here, the position of national security was an afterthought to this government. A commentator says, the most dreaded prime minister turns out to be a disaster. A News Spinner says here, PJP is trying to equate himself to the likes of Chasney, Holness and Motley. But Mr. Prime Minister, you have a very rough journey ahead. You are not immune to criticism. Another commentary reads, be cautious of anyone who does not like or welcome constructive criticism, especially in the political world. Someone says at this point, we need outside help with the way things are going. A commentary reads, is that the correct number of homicides? Team, please double check. I do not trust these agencies keeping track, only NewsSpin. A NewsSpinner says school books are a big problem in this country. Half of the school books are not used in the classrooms because the teachers walk in the class with their own books. What nonsense is this? PJP, our students need e-books. A commentary reads, I do not believe we have any competent police officers in this place. A commentary says, it is a scary situation here in St. Lucia. Never in my life have I been so frightened of what is happening here. Someone says here, any success-driven books tells you that procrastination isn't good for success. You have to be able to think and act quickly yet soundly. A NewsSpinner says here, this SLP government is now taking the praises, boasting about tourism. PJP and Hele, are you really serious? Commentary reads, it's so good that Tim keeps running these tapes, proving how short-sighted the current Prime Minister is. These are the reminders people need as we face an election. Alan was sorely ridiculed because the Labour Party could not see past COVID-19. But now these incompetent clowns want to take credit for our tourism numbers. Shameless. A commentary says, I am tired of saying rest in peace, so from today do not rest until justice is done. Justice for all the blood that is flowing in our streets. And the NewsSpinner says here, the Prime Minister's inability to restore public trust, maintain law and order, or even show visible leadership in moments of national grief is a damning indictment of his tenure. If leadership cannot be found in this office, then accountability must be. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update regarding the statistics provided to us by the previous caller. Somebody says 3 in the graveyard, not 2, including the baby. He missed the baby. Referring there to homicide victim Troya St. Martin, who was pregnant at the time, 7 months pregnant at the time of her killing. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. 716-2026. Somebody says there, does the Prime Minister inspire the nation with his leadership? Not at all. To invoke such a reaction, it must come from a good place. The Prime Minister is a polarizing character. Remember quotes inciting vexation, anger, and possible violence? We beat you. When he can't shake the hand of the leader of the opposition during a church service, there is no inspiration. When he promotes policies of handouts, keeping people depressed, there is no leadership. So too his reaction to the question about the return of tourism to the island after COVID. Are you serious? Yes, we are. Wish he was serious too. We need better leadership now. Some more of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, I wonder how the Prime Minister would have managed the economy if there were no tourism. If Pierre was in government during COVID, the whole of St. Lucia would have been wiped out. That's according to a WhatsApp message. We have another one. Tim, the Prime Minister will deny that tourism clips. Weren't they boasting the tourism numbers for 2020, 24, 25, saying it was the highest since 2019, and that was prior to the COVID. We need change or we will go down. Here is our police officer friend again. Good afternoon to you, sir. You are on the air.
Jimmy, sorry to have called you a second time.
It's all right, sir.
Okay. I've been informed by a medical doctor and a legal officer, an attorney at law, that a baby, a fetus in the stomach of in the womb of a mother is not considered a human being.
Okay.
A human being is one who has taken the breath of life. Until one have taken the breath of life, they are not considered a human being. That is why it does not include the fetus. A fetus is not a baby. A human being is one who has taken the actual breath of life. Understand him?
Yes, I understand, but I'm sure that can be argued, sir. I'm sure that can be argued. But anyway,
well, Tim,
I'm just saying, because if 7 months you can be saved, if you in a situation like, for example, in certain jurisdictions, the United States and so on, you've had situations where the baby has been saved. So
well, you see, that what I was informed is that law came about. It was argued when the abortion law came into effect.
Mm-hmm.
they said that a fetus is not a human being.
All right.
So
Yeah.
it's not me, Tim.
Okay.
It's a legal Illuminati and a medical doctor.
Yeah, and the law could be wrong at times. Thank you so much for calling.
No, but you're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. 452-2979, 716-2026. Let me see if I have any more of your WhatsApp messages. We have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hey, Tim, good day. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, it appears as though I always either follow Mr. James or he follows me. But just like him, Tim, I know this man, this minibus operator, as for a long time, Tim. I spent a long time.
You're referring that to Chucky.
Chucky.
Yeah, we'll put his photograph on the screen now. Mm. Go ahead, continue.
Tim, I spent over 17 years at the traffic department. And as a minibus operator, I know this man so much, so well, that this morning when I got that photo, as soon as I got up and I got the photo of the scene, I asked the person who sent the message if that's the driver of M1049, because in the image you cannot see the vehicle number. But I know the man so well. I know the man. As a traffic officer, you memorize numbers.
Yeah.
1049 is the man's number. And like I tell you, I know the man. Just yesterday, Tim. Yesterday, about minutes to 10 a.m., I was standing on Lesland Road, just in the junction with Marion Street. When I saw this man just came out of his yard, and he was about walking across the street where his bus is parked there now to enter the bus. So that's a man I know very, very well. And to get up this morning and see the man was killed, the man doesn't know war, the man didn't go to Russia or Ukraine. The man is... Tim, let me tell you something. I just came from delivering a lecture there on crime, Tim. Because occasionally I'm called to do those things. Tim, let me tell you something. That have me feeling so depressed. And you know the worst thing about it, Tim? Personally, I telling you that I don't know if the outcome would be anything different from what we have had. And it is, I'm sorry to say that, but that's how I feel. Tim, those things have to stop, And I'm calling on people like Mr. James, your previous caller, your last caller there, and others other retired police officers, whatever we can do to help, to advise, to give suggestions to Mr. God or anything. Retired service people, let us put something together to try to help our situation. Tim, because it can be anybody.
Yeah.
The worst thing is to get up in the morning and the first thing you see is a man that you spoke. I could have very well called the man yesterday morning. The man was standing less than 20 feet away from me when I saw him crossing to go to his bus. And the man is dead this morning. Tim, have a good day. Thank you.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Still to come, of course, we have some more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. Got travel plans? Don't let paperwork slow you down. The briefcase is making applications for passports and visas faster, easier, and stress-free. We have now moved to the Chanel's Plaza upstairs next to the DHL office. Whether it's your first passport or a renewal, we've got you covered. We also assist with applications for police records, U.S. visa applications, birth certificate, and business registration. Come see us upstairs, Chanel Plaza, next to the DHL office. 9th August this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or call 718-8624, 718-8624, or 7137503 to book. No lines, no hassle. Just expert help right when you need it. The Briefcase. Your journey starts here.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fat, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big. Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Do whatever that crunch you want.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbutai at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Priez Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outils ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or launcher. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
Essier, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vidbutai. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home? We've got the mortgage. Starting your first business? Count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Head into college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
That's gone for 6. The Republic Bank CPL is here, and the biggest party in sport just got bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with 5 explosive home games from August 23rd to 31st. Every 6, every wicket, every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at cplt20.com or at your local box office. It's time to turn up for the biggest party in sport.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Remember, this month, La Clinique du Corps is offering a $50 discount on all doctor consultations. Once again, this month, only this month, La Clinique du Corps is offering a $50 discount on all doctor consultations. Visit them today and take advantage of this promotion, and don't you miss it. Talking about doctors, we have a doctor on the line. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. You are on the air.
Hi, Tim.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, Cole.
Good afternoon to you, Doc.
Yes. Yes, good afternoon. Most normal thinking St. Crucians should be concerned about the state of affairs in our country when it comes to crime. I think this thing has gone a little bit too far, and the Prime Minister needs to show some leadership. By now, in fact, the week when we had about 10 murders in a week, we should have had a state of emergency in some areas, according to police intelligence, and to stem the flow of drugs and guns. In this country, it is known, and even the Minister of Crime Prevention said that we have organized crime. So if Jeremiah Norbert can say that we have organized crime, he should have an idea of who are the people bringing in the guns. Now, that is a serious business in St. Lucia, and government has the responsibility to stop the flow of guns in this country, because certain people are bringing in the guns and the drugs and using young people to do that kind of nonsense. So it is in the benefit of the individuals who bring in the guns and the drugs and have destitute young people using guns uselessly and having that, what we call that gang warfare. Also, I think the Prime Minister needs to consider outside intervention, because if the Commissioner of Police can state clearly that we have lost evidence, certain crucial evidence in certain cases, then our system is seriously contaminated. So he needs to think seriously. He is the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and he needs to show leadership. We, at this point in time, we need outside help. If he has to bring in the regional forces, if he has to bring in the FBI, if he has to bring in Scotland Yard, he has to bring in Interpol and stop the flow of guns in the inner cities of St. Lucia so that people can live in this small country in peace. So that is his responsibility, together with the hierarchy of the police force. They have to sit down and develop a strategy to deal with that. Because the flow of guns, we are not manufacturing guns in this country. All right? We have more guns than bananas now. All right? And we need to stem the flow of guns. And we need to purge our system, security system. And the corrupt ones, we need to deal with it. Okay? So If Jeremiah can say we have organized crime, we need to dismantle the system, and we need to do it now, because too many people and too many young men are dying. How could our country be productive in the next 10, 20 years when for the year we have 70 young men dead? So what we have, when we have 70 young men dead, we have households without a father. We have wives without a husband, without a brother, children without, certain households have been affected, and the productivity of the country is seriously affected. So as the leadership of this country, something needs to be done. I am tired of the fact that every day we have a murder, and the same things. The police is doing this and the police. Do something about it. We need to do something about it. The action, we need to do something about it. The Prime Minister has the links with other regional organizations or other countries that can help St. Lucia. So if we cannot do it with our force, we can do it with the help of Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, or United States, UK, France. We can do it, and we need to stop it, and stop it now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sylvia Wilson. Thank you so much for your contribution. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says their attempts were made previously on Chucky's life. Let's take a call on the landline. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Hello, Timothy. Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
It's really sad hearing all of the deaths and so. I've been hearing reoccurring stopping the guns at the coastlines coming in, or in the barrels coming in, stopping ammunition and different things coming in. I do understand. Yes, we need to do that. We also have to make sure that we don't just have police, but we have policemen and men that will be able to stand for discipline, and men that will be able to stand and put in the laws. You understand? Because we have a lot of laws, Timothy, but these laws are not put into practice. Persons don't even know that these laws are there. And if a lot of those laws in St. Lucia would be implemented, a lot of things would stop. Now, another thing, Timothy. The young men know that if they come, they shoot you, they kill you, nobody gets them, they go to the prison, and they have a good time. Their mom come to see them, their dad come to see them, family come to see them. After a certain period of time, they go home. I think something should change, eh? When you are convicted, you don't go to a St. Lucia jail. Send you to Ecuador. Send you to somewhere that you don't know.
You meant El Salvador?
Yes, somewhere that you don't know, and somewhere that will scare you. That's the only way, because if once they go into our local jails, our local prison, everything is okay, and they'll take care of me. But when they know that they cannot call mama and say, "Mama, bring this for me, bring that for me," everything is all right, you think they will not get serious? I think we need to get serious about things like that. You commit a crime, you're not paying the time in St. Lucia. You're going to go to one of those other Spanish countries where you notice that the way inmates are treated is even more serious. I'm not telling you they're going to do you wickedness, but you will not be as comfortable, because that's why they do it. Even if they catch me or they don't catch me, I'm comfortable in my country. I get what I want. But the minute they don't have family that will be there all the time for them, they'll cry. And I'm positively sure, would you commit a crime, you're not staying in St. Lucia. You would have to be sent somewhere else. And then after you've paid your time, you will come back to St. Lucia. I think that's one of them. But we have to also there are a lot of laws, Timothy, that is not implemented. Persons can walk around with marijuana in their mouths. They can walk around anyhow. They can dress anyhow. They can curse you anyhow. They can do you what they want in town. You cannot say anything. Unless those things are implemented, people will realize how serious government is and how serious the authorities are for respect of person. Until that, Timothy, we can talk from now until doomsday. Nothing's going to happen.
Okay, ma'am.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much for calling. Now, it's not implemented. It's enforcement that is the issue. We have a law for just about everything in St. Lucia. We have another call. Hello, good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air.
No, Timothy.
Yes,
it's
sir.
A pleasure hearing your program again.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
You know, Timothy, I don't want anybody to attack me anymore. So that's why I've not been really contributing to your program. But when I listen to your program...
You're afraid of your skin?
No, I'm not afraid.
Okay.
You know, I think because we have to be speaking with one voice in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
The problem is, Timothy, that we cannot solve the little things. The little things. And I'll give you some of the little things that we can't solve. We can't solve the people riding motorcycles without helmets. We can't stop the cows from going on the most important highway we have, or the single highway we have, which we call a highway. Little things like that. And all we have is a lot of talk. And as I told your station some time ago, I'm really tired of talking. Now, if we cannot solve these things, these little things, you think we'll be able to solve crime? Because you know what the problem is? Nobody is taking it serious. The authorities are not taking it serious. The people that working with the jobs, the government-paid people that have responsibilities, the ministers come and give a lot of talk. And I'm tired of hearing this talk. We cannot solve crime unless we can stop the little things people want just when they want and how they want. We cannot do that. We have to start with the little things, Timothy. And I just hope that nobody find I'm being ridiculous by saying so. But if you cannot stop the little things, you will not stop the big things. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. And let me see if I have any. Okay, let's turn our attention to Amanda. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room. Good afternoon to you, Amanda.
A few comments from Elliot Tim and NewsSpin says here, how can anyone in their right mind support this inept government? Commentary reads, it took a village to raise a child, but now the child or children are killing the village. And NewsSpinner says here, enough is enough. The minister must either act with urgency, clarity and transparency, or step aside and let someone more capable like Alan Chasney take charge. Another commentary reads, if this new commissioner is not removed ASAP, he will be responsible for the death of the St. Lucia police force. Someone says here, we call on the Prime Minister to acknowledge that his approach to national security is failing. If he cannot provide a credible and immediate solution to his crisis, he must appoint someone immediately. Commentary reads, 5 murders in Central Castries is not a word from Richard Frederick. A NewsSpinner says there, for the last 4 years, the suppression of the number of homicides has become a habit. Nothing can be more wrong than this. Condolences to the 17-plus families. Another commentary reads, a fetus is not a human being. No wonder St. Lucia is so back to front. Commentary says, why does PJP take everything for a joke? Is he capable of answering serious questions and not include the opposition? Someone says, there, can you imagine the number of people that would die if SLP was in power during COVID-19? Can we remember the number of persons who lost their lives when they got into power? Team, at this juncture, we need outside intervention with our police departments. Another commentary reads, when St. Lucia has a prime minister that is always laughing when reporters are asking him serious questions and telling them that is none of your business, what do you expect? And the commentary reads, I agree with Officer Chico. They need to recall some of the experienced police officers that are retired to help and assist in curbing this crime wave that is happening in our communities. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. WhatsApp message. I've been saying that we need some Asian law officers who are fluent in English to at least 5 or 10 years to take temporary control of the RSLPF. Our RSLPF is totally corrupt and all the heads must go. The Asians will have no friends, and when it is time to make raids, I'm sure the police will only know where they are going when they get there. Let's take a call on the landline. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon,
caller.
To continue from what the nice doctor was saying, I think, we just need to do one thing in St. Lucia right now. We need to call for the resignation of all the people that are responsible for what's happening with the crime rate in St. Lucia. It is only happening because they're not doing their job. So, let's call on the Prime Minister. Let's call on Jeremiah Norbert. Let us call on the Commissioner of Police. Let us call on whoever else who has not been taking this seriously to resign immediately. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages. 716-2026. A call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Poleon. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon to you, caller.
That's me from Pennsylvania again.
Yes, sir. I'm listening to you.
We have a lot of problems in St. Lucia. Now, the interesting thing is the amount of people that they kill, that are being killed by guns, are being recorded. But the amount of men that have sex with men are not being recorded, which is
why you want to record that, caller?
What?
Who wants to record that?
No, but it is a crime, because when a man and a woman have sex with each other, it's most likely the woman will get pregnant. Okay? But men don't get pregnant. When two women have sex with each other, they don't get pregnant. This is a crime. And this is not being recorded. This is even more dangerous than a gun killing somebody.
Are you for real?
Yes, it is.
In your book?
I am for real.
So for you, when two men are having sex, you have two fellas having sex, anal sex, and then you have a homicide. Which one for you is of more concern to you?
Both of them. Because can you imagine, if 50% of men in St. Lucia decide to be gay, what will the population be? Who will make the children? Yeah. This is a crime. And some men, they have sex with men, and then they go and have sex with women. Don't you think that's a lot of problem? St. Lucia is in deep shit. Have a nice day.
You too, sir. Let me take the opportunity to present to you our NewsSpin question of the day in light of that comment. Why is St. Lucia's population getting low? Why is St. Lucia's population getting low? And talking about low, remember that track by the Ashanti won the 1990 Calypso Crown in St. Lucia at the time when we were complaining about the growing population and how it was going out of control and it was unmanageable and you had poor housing, not enough school places and so on. We wanted the population to decrease. Now we want it to increase. Here is Ashanti.
Everybody crying to control the growing population, from the family planning to the teachers and Californian, and the minister giving order to stop the baby factory. Every year the budget election, high population brings poverty. Yet despite all of them wanting Lucia success like she ain't care, but she get it with 4,000 babies each year. And the population growing rapid. A trooper said I am old. Right now, we dealing with the fastest rate in the world. So Lucia, now looking for ways to stop making all the children. You don't want them dead. She might even legalize abortion. Come here then. So Lucia now in the she don't know how. That she ain't care. arguing bomb like us. You know what? Lucia gets it. And she population. Helen. No distress. Everybody crying to control the great population. From the family planning to the teachers and Californian. And the minister giving order to stop the manufacturing. Every year, the budget election, high population brings poverty. Yet despite all of them wanting, Lucia success like she ain't care. But she gets it, with 4,000 babies each year. And the population growing rapid. Like super said, I am old. Right now, we dealing with the fastest rate in the world. Solution. Now looking for ways to stop making all them children. You don't want them dead. She might even legalize abortion. Come with it. Solution now in the she don't know how. That she don't care. And every year, why they make it grow? Arguing bomb like us. You know what? Lucia gets it. And she population. Helen. No distress.
We're in the business of speaking our mind on this, the most monitored talk show in the world. So today I'm pronouncing that this is St. Lucia's best calypso. According to NewsSpin, this is St. Lucia's best calypso, performed in 1990 by the Ashanti, and the song was written by Nahum Jean-Baptiste. The broadcast will continue in a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages, and we'll have a final update from Amanda King.
We're just finished dinner, and before we all head off, let's do something very important. Let's go over our hurricane prep list. We need food, water, medicine, important documents. What else? Right, the generator. This year, I'm not taking any chances. I'm getting ours from Europa Hardware in Massad Grocery. Best prices around, and believe me, I don't want to hear, "Daddy, the Wi-Fi's down," when the power's out. Keep your family comfortable. Get your generator at Europa Hardware. Call us today at 452-0763. Europa Hardware, located in Massad Grocery. We service what we sell.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelec at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in, our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fet, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big. Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Yes. That was the Lucia Top 5 for Carnival 2025. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge, guys. Real Men Check Up.
To all my listeners out there, visit a men's health clinic in your area today.
PSA checkups are now free.
It's private, it's quick, it's efficient, and convenient.
Music touches the soul, but health keeps the rhythm going. Fellas, it's time to check your PSA levels. It's free, it's simple, you can save your life.
Brothers, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives. Let us not wait until it is too late.
To be a champion, you need to show up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to take the step. Get checked. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero, and I want him around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I faced colon and prostate cancer head on, and I'm still standing. Early detection saved my life. If I can do it, so can you. Don't wait. Get tested. It's free, it's simple, and it will definitely save your life also.
Real men.
Real men.
Real men take charge.
Real men check up.
The Republic Bank CPL is here, and the biggest party in sport just got bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with 5 explosive home games from August 23rd to 31st. Every 6, every wicket, every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at cplt20.com or at your local box office. It's time to turn up for the biggest party in sport.
Everybody crying to control the great population. From the family planning to the teachers and Poleon, and the minister giving order to stop the manufacturing. Every year, the budget election, high population brings poverty. Yet despite all of them wanting Lucia's success like she and care, so she gets it with 4,000 babies each year. And the population growing rapid. A trooper said I am old. Right now, we need with the fastest rate in the world. So Lucia, now looking for ways to stop making all them children. You don't want them dead. She might even legalize a marshal. Come ready? Solution now in a she don't know how that she can care. And every year, hear me? Why they make it big grow? Are you in Bob? Like has you know what? Lucia getting and she population Helen. No distress.
According to NewsSpin, Senusha's best calypso ever, performed in 1990 by the Ashanti and written by Nahum Jean-Baptiste. Let's get a final update from you, Amanda. What's happening in the chat room?
Team, a few comments from earlier. NewsSpinner says here, oh yes, we can stop these cows, 1 cow per household, make it a law and see how fast the owner removes those cows from the shock area. Comment here reads, to the youth of St. Lucia, this country can't move forward without you, and under this current government, you've been ignored, neglected, and pushed aside. Vote for UWP because your future should not be a casualty of bad leadership of the SLP. A NewsSpinner says, Team, this administration and the Commissioner of Police, to my mind, is more concerned about legacy, so they will never seek outside intervention to help curb crime. I am of the view that they believe their leadership will be questioned and they would rather keep things as is. Another comment here reads, St. Lucia, if we are ever to heal from the sounds of gunshots, we must first change the people who are deaf to our cries. Someone says there, what a classic song, such great lyrics, clear vocals by the singer and back singers, and good melody and brass. Wow, this song can never die even though the circumstances have changed. Such is life. A comment here reads, yesterday on a program on CBC in Toronto, doctors said one of the main culprits for low birth rates is men keeping their phones in their pockets for 5 or more hours a day. Also keeping laptops on their laps for hours. That decreases spurt count to dangerously low levels. A NewsSpinner says, there is sad to see my sweet St. Lucia is under economic hitman. This government is carrying out the agenda of the World Economic Forum. Remember, the government was given money for climate change programs. We need to question the government on what programs were implemented with the money. That's it for me, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that final update from you. WhatsApp message, somebody says that, Tim, what is your criteria for best calypso? I personally think Morgie's God Put a Hand is one of the best, a timeless piece. Be interesting to put a question like this on your page to get the NewsSpinner's views. You said Morgie's song is one of the best. I agree. This song by Nahum Jean-Baptiste, performed by the Ashanti, is the best, according to NewsSpin. Another WhatsApp message, somebody says, the good day, I no longer see or hear the app on the radio being it on, etc. I used to hear it on Radio Garden, not anymore. Okay, we're working on this, I'm sure. I think we're back, Mr. Producer, we are back. All right, here is our final call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Well, to answer your question about Lolo, it's because they're getting killed off, that's why. They're getting killed off, Tim.
All the men are being killed.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, it could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it could be.
Now, Tim, very often the big wisdom of the day comes out of inadvertently, The guy who called there, obviously not so in love, the first gentleman, who compared the gays and the activities, and it seemed to me he was placing that bigger priority than the number of unresolved homicides we've had.
That's a gentleman was calling from Pennsylvania.
Well, you know that guy, when you think about it, it's perhaps one of the most important calls you got today.
Why?
Because it's let me put it this way to you. Do you think people care? I'm going to apply it carefully, the majority of the numbers. Do you think there are more people who care about the homicides, the unresolved, continuing, burgeoning homicides, that they care more about that than they care about
I think,
Rick,
Rick, there are more people who care about the homicides because it's in their face. I mean, they could see it, they understand it. But in some cases, if you love your party, you do not want to call NewsSpin and criticize the performance or the poor performance of the authorities and so on, you will not place a premium on what is happening. But I think a lot of people understand it because this is a small society. They have friends who have been killed. They have family members who have been killed, so they can identify with what is happening. And I think it is still a little shocking, you know, when you have a homicide, because most people know each other. They know the victims.
Tim, you know, I talk to far more St. Lucians who will talk about a homicide more in terms of their party.
Yes.
Than
that's what I agree with you on.
If that and that goes for at least half the country, caring more about their party.
Because Rick, again, they say the weirdest things, you know, the most absurd things. People doing as if it's the prime minister that's sending the criminals and kill people. That's not what we're saying. We have never said that. Most intelligent people will not tell you that the prime minister, whoever that person is the one who is sending the criminal elements out there to snuff out the lives of other people. No, that's not the issue. Remove this. That's subterfuge. What we are saying is it is happening because there's fertile ground for it to happen, because those people are not likely to be arrested. Take, for example, and I have a clip, I might play it in a moment. The ACP, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, and that is Mr. Luke De Freitas, says that of the 39 murders we've had, only 13 people have been charged. So 26 of those homicides. No one has been held in connection with those homicides.
Okay, now that's for this year?
That is, yes. You are speaking.
What about for last year?
No, you are speaking last week, only last week Thursday.
Okay. But you notice how they totally ignore the year, last year and the year before and the year before and the year before.
Yes.
Forgotten, gone. Okay, Tim, have you, I mentioned yesterday that while the Commissioner of Police, for whatever reasons, may have gone off on leave, taking vacation, there's somebody in his place.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Mr. Ronald Phillip.
Do you know who is Mr. Ronald Phillip? Would you care to elaborate for your audience?
We all know who is Mr. Ronald Phillip. There is no any need for me to go into it. People know. And people listen, people monitor this broadcast, sir.
Okay, do you have the press release handy that the commissioner put out regarding the missing evidence and so on? And would I be correct in saying that the release says, while one matter may have been settled one way or another by the DPP's office regarding the gentleman, there are some pending investigations still related?
Yes, but I
regarding complaints?
I don't have that press release
but you know that is in the release?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So in other words, according to the Commissioner of Police, the DPP has said that in one matter it doesn't have evidence.
I think it's more than one. It might be two or three.
That's right.
It's more than one.
But there are two or three
that are still
pending.
Yes.
Now, where else but St. Lucia would you have a situation like that, where we've had so much? And by the way, this thing has been dragging unresolved for something like 10 years.
What, this latest incident? I think it's a little less than that.
Little less like what?
I don't know exactly, but it's for sure it's
Can
less than 10 years.
Can you give us a ballpark figure, Tim?
Maybe close to 5 years, but I don't think it's 10 years.
All right. Well, there are different complaints, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so this thing had been dragging. The complaints were made, and whatever could be going on within the police on that matter, it's been going on for a number of years, even 5 years if you like, but my calculation is a little even more gross than that. Now, for optics, for the purposes of trust, Do you think the gentleman, who must be presumed innocent, I grant you, but is under investigation on some extremely serious charges for a long time?
So, a police officer, my apologies for the interruption. They sent me a note. They're saying about 13 years.
About how long?
13.
You see, Tim? That is why I asked the question. Information. 13 years. I wanted to make a quick confession to you, Tim, to interrupt myself. I sat there listening to the gentleman who called up. I don't know what it was, listing number of killings and so on and so on.
A former police officer.
Okay. And I was listening to this, and I was saying, why do I bother with doing what I'm doing? Because the people of the country obviously don't care how many of them are killed like frogs. The people and their relatives don't care. Let us understand that every human frog that's killed on the road, he had about 30 relatives, Tim, who, one way or another, are human beings, and they feel like human beings, even though not as deeply as they do, as they should. So for everyone you kill, you have badly changed the lives of his family, his relatives. You have killed possibly the chances of his children being better than he was. All of that. There is no discussion going on about these fallouts from those. It is not just a news item on one radio station that somebody was shot like a dog in his car. Somebody was shot like a pig down the road. A woman was raped and then shot. An old lady was at 80 years old, was brutalized and raped. And all of those things unresolved. That is only the surface, Tim. It's the repercussions, the impact on others from that one act. And yet, there is no kind of action. And if you do, like I'm saying pointedly, Tim, you'll be surprised the number of people I consider intelligent who think that conversation I'm having here with you now is an attack on Philip J. Pierre. An attack on Philip J. Pierre, my friend. Okay? A lot of people who are supposed to be influential, intelligent people, rather than use their closeness to the Prime Minister and have tete-a-tetes, even burning the midnight oil about what to do, not for votes, what to do about the same. Let me ask you this question, and maybe we should start when we know, pointing it out. The gentleman who was killed and his friend called, two of them, how close they knew those guys, etc., etc. If at all they call again.
You're talking about the latest homicide?
Yeah.
Yes, Chucky.
Because those people knew him so well, even you knew him.
Yeah, I knew him.
Etc. I wonder if they have at least an idea, a soupçon, what party this guy supports. Just, I wonder if they know, because, more we like that, more or less, we're a small town. Even when we don't support a particular party, we're accused of supporting a party. I wonder what party is associated with Chucky, or his friend would say. I hope you will allow, after I put the phone off, that call. Because the point I want to make is, the killers don't care about what party you support. And I cannot understand why the politicians seem to care so much that when we talk about life in the country and involving people being killed like dogs and frogs and forgotten about, that you are attacking a government. Tim, all of our politicians, from the moment I came to settle in back home permanently, all of them, in the same way they have contributed to our debt, they have contributed one way or another to the lack of safety of this wonderful country. Do you realize that we are now per capita something like number 7 murder capitals?
I came across that statistics, like 36 per 100,000. A little over 36.
And people are quiet on this. Now here's another horror. Let us face a reality.
And somebody just sent me a message there, and there's the photograph of Chucky, all adorned in his Rastafarian, outfit, saying that Rick Rasta not into politics. So maybe he was not supporting any political party.
Well, that's not true to begin with, Tim. Rasta not into politics.
Not all Rastas.
Unless, of course, it's a pretend Rasta.
Not all Rastas into politics. Maybe, maybe he was...
I'm always telling you about, I order a barrel of apples. All the apples are rotten, except for 4. And when I complain to the person about the rotten apples, they say, but you're saying all of them rotten, Rick.
Yeah.
So, 200 of them are rotten, yeah, but there are 4 good ones. That is St. Lucian kind of talk. Rasta not into politics, that's wonderful. But even the not into politics is political. It might be religious, but it has political impact. But the point I'm making in any case is not whether Rasta into politics or not. Is that the killers have no respect, whether you are Rasta, whether you're not into politics, whether you are the biggest supporter, etc. And I cannot understand why it becomes the issue whether I am trying to make the government look bad or not bad, as opposed to so many homicides of children, unborn children, pregnant people, kids shot down in cars, students, all that kind of stuff. And the matter of whether or not I'm criticizing a particular government is of greater moment than those lives, Tim. What does that say about us? Because there's no resistance that we can see to that kind of thinking, We encourage that thinking with our complicit silence. Are you getting me right, Tim?
Yeah.
And how this thing is going, there is no sign it's going to be any better for a while. There's no sign. Giving the police, I don't care what government, whether Compton, giving the police a few cars and selling the message, I'm doing something about crime and killing, is bullshit. And you know it is bullshit from experience. To stop crime not stop crime, to ameliorate crime, a lot of things have to be put in place, a lot. And no one government, as George Odlum said, all of us, and in particular the politicians, must agree that we have a common cause called people are killing people like frogs. And we have to, as much as possible, come together to try to ameliorate that, because we're not going to stamp it out. Instead, we are encouraging it by discouraging people from telling you how they feel about their friends getting killed, or as citizens getting killed because they have a conscience, and because it's bad for the country in every respect. People are living in fear. It is bad for your tourism. It's bad for the image of the country. And I don't give a damn what is not. There are people who were killed in Alan Chastney's time, so he's in it too. There are people who were killed in Compton's time, and what he did about it. We had police forces that were inept and ignored and neglected and abused. The police are abused too, Tim. When you take the police for granted and expect them to go and risk their lives, and by risking their lives, they risk their family and everybody, and they don't have proper insurance, they don't have proper equipment, they don't have proper training, you're abusing the police as well,
I mean, just ask some of those police officers who were involved in Operation Restore Confidence, and
exactly.
and how they have been fingered, and how they're subject of investigations.
That is unresolved.
And it is unresolved, and they are suffering mentally and otherwise.
And how do we know Operation, what was the one Kenny had? What was it called?
Operation Peace or something, I can't remember.
Yeah, how do we know that Operation Restore Peace did not lead Well, Operation Restore Confidence was not a follow-up to, I'm talking about the criminality.
Mm-hmm.
A continuing bloodbath that once in a while takes a lull for their reasons. Richard Frederick said in an article at a press conference, I said that before, launching some football, whatever. He said in the presence of Herman Francis and Broughton that the people behind the crime are policemen, businessmen, and other people. He also said that when there is a lull in the shooting and the bloodletting, a lot of police don't like that, he said, because the police are the ones who sell guns and ammunition to a lot of those killers. 7 years later,
he was then a member of the United Workers' Party, right?
He had just won the election around 2006, early. 7 or 8 years later, Kenny Anthony's investigation, we passed laws to accommodate that investigation, new laws. He didn't trust the police. We created new laws to investigate impacts, and there is a report. And the report says exactly what Frederick said, except for one difference. Kenny Anthony said his report said that the people behind the bloodletting were policemen, government politicians, and officials.
And business people.
And business people. So you see how close what Frederick said in 2006 is to what Kenny Anthony said 7 or 8 years later.
In 2015.
And we're sitting there like monkeys and go ahead and say, I don't give a damn. I'm not Aaron Shantney. When I say you behave like you're like a damn monkey, it's because you behave like a monkey in human form. And go ahead and cuss me out because you can't create that macaque. You can't create that macaque cochon. Rick Wayne is a solution, you know. Don't forget that. Those kind of things don't do shit to Rick Wayne. Rick Wayne is angry. Rick Wayne is embarrassed. He is disgusted about how we St. Lucians treat one another. All of us. Red, blue, and what's the other color? And yellow. We are all acting like pigs.
And don't forget orange, yeah? Don't forget orange.
There's orange as well.
Yeah.
We are all acting with the inhumanity or animalism, whatever the word is, of pigs. We're carrying on like pigs that don't care. And again, I'm wrong. Because animals treat their children and their friends or whatever. Lions move around in prides, right?
Yeah.
They hunt together. They eat together. They defend one another. Birds, the eagles defend their eggs and the animals defend themselves. They stand up for something, Tim. And they don't have society and police. They just have responsibilities stamped into them instinctually. But what we seem to have are the instincts of the lowest caliber of animals. And so there's a saying, and I'm not referring to anyone, but it applies to all of them. You can judge the quality of citizenry, of country's citizens, by the people that citizenry elects to represent them. So I don't think you, Tim, would want a drug baron to go and represent you in terms of getting a job to recommend you. You wouldn't send a drug baron to a prospective boss, would you?
No.
Well, that's what we're doing. And I make no excuses for being angry, largely with myself, because I have devoted almost a lifetime to doing what I'm doing here with all the risk involved. And all I'm saying is it's a total waste of time that St. Lucians want to live the dog life. And they practically deserve it. Thank you very much. I'm not being emotional. This is very calculated. So let them say Rick Wayne Caprillas at Mark and really. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Finally, we have our NewsSpin News of the Day. The NewsSpin News of the Day reads, natural disasters caused $135 billion in economic losses in the first half of this year. Natural disasters caused $135 billion in economic losses in the first half of this year. The NewsSpin news of the day. And finally, let us hear from ACP Luke De Freitas, making reference to, at the time, the 39 homicides which had occurred in St. Lucia, and that is at the time he convened a press conference along with the Iraqi of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. That is on Thursday of last week.
I can tell you overall, out of the 39 homicides for the year so far, we've been arrested and we've proffered charges in 13 of those homicides. A number of these homicides we have very good leads on, and we're working assiduously to bring them to a close, at least at the charging stage for now. Again, because of the sensitivity of a lot of these investigations, there is very little that I can bring out here at this conference, but I can tell you that we are on top of what is happening in terms of our investigations into these homicides.
You just heard there from ACP Luke De Freitas. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.